welcome back to my channel. So today I thought that I would go ahead and show you guys how I set up and end a bullet journal. So I'm going to be moving into this bullet journal here. This is the one that I was talking about in my last video. It's the same one as the purple one. I just ordered one that was pink. It's from the same brand, so I kept this little thing to show you. It's from Tiefossi and it is 160 GSM. This bullet journal has 256 numbered pages, so it's pretty thick. This book is so pretty. It did have the it did have like a Libra astrology symbol. I basically just covered that up because I wanted to put patches and stuff on here, so I kind of did all the deco stuff on the outside of the book. This is a linen cover or a linen book, so very nice. Yeah, and I did all the things. I also glued this on here, super glued this on here. It's just a regular like pen that you would put on like a book bag or a jacket or something, but I took that pointy thing off, like the needle part, and then just super glued this bookmark, this ribbon bookmark. I just super glued it to the back using Gorilla Glue. If somebody asks me how I use or how I put my patches on here, I just super glue them. I don't use any like special book binding glue or anything like that, or like art glue. I just use super glue, and that just works for me. If I decide I want to take them off in the future, like this one feels like it wants to come up a little bit, I can do that, but I just use super glue. I might super glue this back down. Yeah, I might super glue that one back down. But okay, so yeah, I'm gonna show you how I kind of set this up. It's like real early, so I'm trying to be real quiet, but part of this video I needed to talk so I could at least explain, but most of it might end up going to like voiceover. So if that ends up happening, you guys, obviously you'll see that change in the video. This bullet journal here has ran its course. Yeah, this bullet journal has ran its course. I'm just kind of getting a little bored with it, only because I want to try something else. I want to try a new like layout, new like setup for how the bullet journal is laid out. I went ahead and put an archival sticker here because I know very soon I'm getting ready to end this bullet journal. This bullet journal has been night and day in the back pages. So I showed you guys all this stuff, but I've been adding things to the back. Current favorite artist, pop artist right now today is Sabrina Carpenter. Definitely loving Bedchem and Nonsense from another album, Emails I Can't Send. But from this album, I was just like so obsessed because I watched her concert, her short and sweet concert, and I was just like obsessed. So yeah, anyway, and then I let my son do drawings and stuff in here. So yeah, my guys, and then like this week, so I did do October setup, right? I just used some antiquarium stickers to just kind of oddly word out the word October with all the letters, and then I went in to do my week. I did kind of the same week from last week, so same week, only difference is my top 3 are at the bottom instead of the top, because I forgot to put them in once I started putting stuff in, so that happened. And then of course, I've been adding in things. We're getting ready to move again. This is another major move from one state to the next, and then we leave that state, so we won't be staying in. So we're going back to Altus. If you know, then you know, I don't want to go back and descript, but if you know that we're basically a military family, my husband's in the Air Force, he had deployed, and then, you know, I went home to my home state. We were stationed in Altus, so we're going back to Altus, and then we're going to our next duty station. So there's a lot of traveling coming up, and I know I won't have time to do a bullet journal or set up a bullet journal. So if you know, then you know that, you know, this is going to be a busy time, especially if you've watched any of my move videos, like when I talk about all the stuff that I need to do. Yeah, this is kind of like that. We've already been like in a process. I made a new one. I did have one. I had one for September. Oh, I'll show you that in a minute. But I had one for September, in the early parts of September. Right there. There are a lot of stuff that I needed to go back and process, because you see there's some stuff that's like in progress, and then I was going in here and I was moving stuff over, so I'm not completely done with this list. That's why it's not completed out, because I'm in the process of like transferring from here to here, and so it's just a lot of the little stuff that I need to you know, figure out. There's my son's behavior chart. I didn't decide to do one for October because it's October, and everyone's a little stressed out, so I'm not gonna be mad if he's throwing temper tantrums, because this is stressful. Moving from state to state, house to house, place to place, it's stressful. So there's that. But yeah, this is still a work in progress. So basically, this bullet journal doesn't have many pages left. So those are the back pages that have been used. And then, you know, this was yesterday. And then these are the pages that I designated for today and Sunday. And then this is what I have left. Not much at all. So I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and set up the next bullet journal just so it's ready to go, because I don't know if I'm gonna completely finish this one out to 0 pages, or if I'm gonna leave some pages, or finish out this week and then move over. I don't know. So I just want to have my next bullet journal kind of set up and ready to go for all of that. And then as far as this goes, so this is an active bullet journal, by the way. It does get used. This is our move week. No, I'm sorry. Our actual move week is here. So I need to color this too, because this just visually helps me see our active traveling days. So our last official day here and in this state is that Thursday or that Friday. So I'm just going to block out these days, because I know that these will be official travel days this coming in the next week and a half, basically. And then this is the week that we'll be at our other base, the temporary base. And yeah, so these 2 to 3 weeks will be very active as far as traveling goes. So yeah, I need to color this in. I didn't even actually realize that. But yeah, it just helps me visually see that these are some travel days. But this is where we are. Today is the 5th. And this is what we have to work with, just these 2 weeks, but really just this 1.5, like maybe a couple days. So yeah, so what I'm thinking to do for the next bullet journal, I think that I'm going to put October in there, because like I said, I didn't have many pages left for October. I think I would be able to get all of October in here, but then again, I also feel like I might not be able to get all of October in here. I counted there were like less than 30 sheets left, so I don't know. I'm already, on page 120, and did say that I think I might be on page like 120 by the end of this week, and here we are closer to the end of this week. So I don't know, it's just because it seems like a pattern, like I've been using a day, like 2 pages for a day this last couple of weeks, and I've been kind of doing like a schedule and things. So I don't think that it will last me to the end of October, just based off of usage and the fact that life is getting ready to get busy, and again, we'll be moving, and yeah, life will be a little chaotic. But I wanna definitely have something set up in the event that, you know, this doesn't make it. This bullet journal has served me well. I've enjoyed using this. Someone also mentioned that Leuchtturm makes the 250 page notebook, because I was talking about, you know, I really like the Leuchtturm books and things like that. Somebody was talking about that, and I get you, I hear you. But the reason why I don't go for the Leuchtturm 250 books is because, one, they're thinner paper, and you guys, I like to use this kind of stuff right here. These Ohuhu markers bleed through just about everything. They were bleeding through like that thin Leuchtturm planner paper, which I think is 80 GSM. These bleed through just about a few things. These little, what are these? These big fine liners, bright liners, whatever, highlighters, they bleed through some stuff. These Sharpies can bleed through some stuff. So it's just like, I like the Leuchtturm books, but I also know that the things that I like to use are not suitable for this paper. So it's kind of like imperative that you get thicker paper to do the job. And so the 120 GSM works beautifully with my markers. Obviously you don't see anything. Now I tested this theory out because I let my son use colored pencils and some of my wettest markers, and the page was starting to rip right here, and I thought maybe it might go through, but no, the thicker paper for sure is the way to go. That's really good that you really can't even, you can see it on the other side, but you don't see any bleed through. So that's part of why I don't go for the thinner paper when it comes to the Leuchtturm. Also, I didn't really care for this particular binding. Oh, you guys can't see it. I talked about this in a previous video, that I am not a fan of this. If you can see that, basically that is like glue and sewing. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this. This scares me because this is a signature. You see it here, you see it here. This is a signature, and with enough force I probably can rip this right out. I don't want to do that, but I probably can rip this right out. Same thing was happening, I want to say, in the back of the book. In the back of the book. Let me see. Because I definitely saw it in the back of the book. Now it doesn't want, oh, here we go. Okay. Again, you see that? That's glue. Oops, I shook y'all. Sorry. That's glue. And that's not what I want. I don't want that. I don't want another bullet journal that has the glue like that. So yeah, that's part of why I chose not to get another Leuchtturm, regardless of the branding and stuff. I know that those options are out there, but I chose not to do that. These Tiefossi journals and the Vivid Scribble journals and others that I've mentioned, they don't have that glue binding. It's completely sewn, which is what I was looking for. I want something that is completely sewn and not, you see what I mean? Like, there's no glue. You go from one signature to the next pretty effortlessly. There's no glue. And it has that lay flat, like it's flat in the middle design. Like no matter where you turn, it's flat in the middle. So yeah, that's what, you see what I mean? Like it's just a lay flat design all the way through. The Leuchtturm lays flat, but not really. Gosh, not really, because of that glue and because of like that binding. I think that's like a cheap factor. Instead of just completely sewing it out, finishing it out. I don't like that. The pages don't necessarily lay completely flat because of that. So yeah, I'm just making like slight judgments about the book in itself. I've already went through and kind of like set this up a little bit. I put one of those little Agenda 52 pockets that I cut down. You probably can see it better. Sorry that I'm clearing my throat so much. When I wake up in the morning, I have to clear my throat like a crap ton. So yeah, I put a little pocket in there. I put this in here just so you can see that I actually glued in a little pocket. And then what I'm going to do, because this book does not have that, I'm going to do a cheat sheet so I can count how many dots are literally across and down and like where the middles are. And then I'm going to do all my other stuff. And that stuff I might actually like voice over or just speed up. So yeah, and there's a back pocket too if I haven't shared that. So there's a little back pocket back there as well. So yeah, you guys, this is the next bullet journal. This is the bullet journal that I'm going to be setting up, moving into. Like I said, I've had my run with the Leuchtturm. Completely loved using this for the time that I've been in it. I don't know, I might be able to get one more week in here, solid one more week. I'm going to push it to its limits, but outside of that, it has been an amazing, like, look at all the memories. Just amazing. That's a good feeling right there. So yeah, 2 solid months I would say in this book. So I'm back, guys. So I'm back, and basically what this step is just me going over all of my pencil lines. So I have already basically drawn out everything with pencil, and at this point it makes it easier for me, one, to go over everything because I already did it with pencil, and I don't use gel pen or anything to like go over the lines. I usually just use a regular ballpoint pen, which works a lot better for me because I realized that when I was using my bullet journal in past years and I would use my regular like gel pen, I had a lot of smearing when I went to move the rulers and stuff. So to just prevent that, I've learned to just use ballpoint pen. I know everybody does it differently. Everybody has different things that they use, but this is just what works for me. And it's just a little tip. If you're worried about smearing, I say to do everything in regular ballpoint pen. I like to use the Ultra Fine or the Precise by Bic. If you know, then you know I love me some Bic. They need to go ahead and sponsor me because I'm a diehard for a Bic. But yeah, so basically that's just it. I'm just going over everything with my ballpoint pen, and I will not be erasing any of the marks. They will stay right there and be very present. All right, you guys. So my family's back, and basically, you might hear some background noise. It's now been a few hours since the last little clip that I filmed, voiceover clip that I filmed. But basically, what I want to tell you guys is I found out that this paper is actually coated. So I thought this information was relatively important because I remember saying that I didn't think it was coated. It didn't feel coated. It kind of resembles the Clever Fox paper a lot. However, upon further inspection, um, when I did my like little mini pen test, and also when I started using like my Pilot Precise to kind of like migrate all my notes and stuff, I found that this paper actually is coated, and I found that out because it took quite a while for some of my stuff to dry. So not super long, but I could definitely tell that there's some kind of coating on the paper. Also, when I used my markers, I found that it didn't soak into the paper like the Clever Fox paper. The Clever Fox paper is 120 GSM. It's really good too, but my markers tend to soak into the paper and the colors show up a little bit darker. But on the Tiefossi journal, they actually didn't soak in, and the colors showed up much more like the cap color. So that was my amazing little discovery. If you're picking up any background noise, I apologize. You guys, I've been trying to film and get this video edited for the last 4 days, and I've been trying to fit in or get in where I fit in, and it has been hell. So you get what you get with this one because I'm tired of fighting. No, but seriously, that's why. It's just like I can't fight the noise. But yeah, that was my my great little discovery about this book. All right, so I'm back, and I have finally filled out everything in here. I filmed basically what I could. Um, I did, so the sections are basically the same as these sections. So essentially speaking, there's still a key log, an index, a future log, and then all the months. So I did a cheat sheet since this book basically has a cheat like layout with grid spacing. The, what is this? Tiefossi journal does not have that. So I basically just counted. Some of the boxes are uneven, and then some of the boxes are. So there's 38 going up and down. Those are even. You might hear my son, and that's okay. It's real life. But yeah, some of the boxes going up and down. There's 38 dots, and then from the middle I counted 28. So I get like 14 at the halfway mark. And then this way from here to here is like 19. So the spacing is a little off, but I was able to work with that. The good thing though about this book is that all the dots basically line up from what I could see. So all the dots, there's like no real odd spacing or like too many dots going this way or that way. They're basically like all the same size. So I was pretty happy about that. But I did do all the sections basically the same as the bullet journal. So I have a key page. I've added a couple like little signifier keys, not necessarily like bullet keys. And then I have like an index. I was only going to do 2 pages for an index, but I ended up not doing that because I was going to do something with this page, but I couldn't remember what it was that I wanted to do. So I ended up turning this page into an index page. So now I have 3 total index pages. And then I did a future log. So what I'm intending to do, because this bullet journal basically, so this bullet journal has August through January 1st. And obviously I don't need August or September. But what I do need is I need November, December, and then 1 month of January. So when I set this bullet journal up, I basically had it to where I have 1 month of the prior. So I actually started it in August. So I had that current month, and then I have 1 month of the future. So 1 month leading into the new year. So since the new bullet journal will start in October, I have 1 month of October, and then it goes into the 1 month of the year. So this will finish out 2023, or I'm sorry, 2024. What? So yeah, so I have October, November, December, January, so just 4 months. And then I left this page because I was gonna do what I did here. If I can get there. I was gonna do this, like how I took these Filofax pages and glued them down. So I had like a overview of like 2025 and 2024. I was gonna do that, but I didn't actually, I do have one thing that I can take out and probably glue in, but I didn't feel like doing that because I don't know if I'm going to continue using that planner, which is the case phase, is what I'm referencing. I don't know if I'm going to continue to use it at all for like any reference stuff. I kind of just refer to it because it has all the dates, and basically I kind of needed to go off of the dates. But outside of that, I just ended up turning it into a currently loving page because I'm trying to keep up with what I was doing here, where I was just adding stuff that I was currently feeling for that season of my life. So right now I'm total Sabrina Carpenter lover. So I've been adding all of that stuff, and like just like anything that I'm interested in at the moment, it'll just go here in this little area. So yeah, as I run out of space, I'll just use the back pages. But the things that I'm currently loving to date, like current, future, I'm just gonna put here. And then it goes, all my months are still up front, and I didn't change my months. My months still look the same as they do in the Leuchtturm. So it starts in October this time. So we have October, November, December, and January. And then this is where my first page of like tasks and notes and stuff will go. So it will roughly go the same way. It will end up being the same as this. So like the end of this month, this is January, and then it goes straight into like, you know, that first or second week of August. This will do the same thing. It will pick up wherever I leave off in this book. So I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and finish out this book. I think I can get at least 1 more week in here, so I'm going to try to do that. But I'm going to be migrating things over into the new bullet journal. So the things, oh, and I forgot to mention, so in the back here of this book, I did do like a general, like just simple pen test, because I just wanted to know how things that I'm using, that I like to use, will look or react. And so I've kind of started to do that. I don't do them all at the same time because it's very time consuming. So when there's something that I want to use but I'm not sure how it will look or react, I'm just going to do like a little squiggly line or like a dot of something, just to test out how it will look before I actually use it on my spread or use it to highlight something. So I did make a little page back here specifically for like just testing out basic stuff. but I will be migrating some of the contents from this bullet journal over into this Tiefossi journal. So things that I'm considering to move over that I think are really important to me is like these logs and stuff, these ongoing like tasks. These will move over. The ones that are very active, they will move over. Anything that I've written in the calendars for the current month, so this is October here, so anything I've written here, and then anything I have already posted in the future logs, so like anything I have written in these, including notes, those will then go into the Tiefossi journal, just so that I can keep up with all the things that are to come. So I don't, like I said, I don't need August or September, so I'll be mostly transferring anything from October all the way up into January. And then I'm not sure if I'm gonna take this out of here. I might end up taking it out of here, which is just like a holidays overview for 2024 and 2025. And then, yeah, I'm just going to do my usual, which is decorate my month a little bit, fill in some stuff, write in my notes, and basically just start using it. I decided not to draw out weeklies or nothing like that because sometimes I don't want to use a weekly. Sometimes I do want to use a weekly. So I left the decision up to how I feel. But also what I'm going to do, which I didn't do in here that I'm noticing, is I'm going to add the week numbers next to the actual weeks on the monthly. I'm just going to do that. And then I'll probably set up either the daily log or I'll draw a weekly. Right now I'm really enjoying using a weekly layout, weekly spread, so I might continue with this in a new bullet journal. But that is as far as I've gotten. And of course, you know, I will film as much as I can film and talk as much as I can talk. It is a little hard to do so when there's like literally sounds everywhere, and yeah, there's really nowhere to film. I got up early this morning, like 5 a.m. to even do part of what I've been showing you. It's now day 2. I started the first part of this video I started like yesterday, then the second part of this video I started like early this morning, and now it's like 1 o'clock or close to 1 o'clock. So I'm trying to get in where I fit in and get most of this filmed for you. But yeah, I'll do what I can do, and I'll try to share as much of the process as possible. And then when we're all done, I'll go back and I'll talk to you guys about what I did, what I added, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next clip. All right, so almost done with this video, but we still got a little bit of ways to go. So basically this clip is just me migrating stuff from my October calendar. I talked a little bit about this, and I'll touch bases on this in the end of the video, where I basically talk about the setup and what I basically went over in terms of like what I wanted to migrate to the new bullet journal. I felt like it was more important to have the last month, or let me rephrase that, the month that I'm in and then the new month, because well, it doesn't sound right either. So basically what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming out in the way that I want to say it, is that it's important to have the last month and then your current month. So technically speaking, when I go over into the Tiefossi journal, October will be just about out, but I feel like the information from October will be very relevant in the November month. So it's just good to have for reference. But yeah, basically that's what I'm doing, is just going in and migrating all of those important holidays and just important dates that I want to keep up with. We're in PCS season. We're in PCS season. So for us, it is extremely busy. And so I've got a lot of important like upcoming dates and deadlines for stuff that I want to get done. But yeah, some notable changes to my future log, which I didn't actually share in the last clips when I was doing the initial tracing of my lines, is I went ahead and drew a bottom line for my future log, basically because I needed to have a note space. That was something that I didn't exactly think about when I was initially setting up my bullet journal. I completely switched my future log around as it looks a lot different from the Leuchtturm, but I ended up not putting in the notes section. I don't know why I did that, but I did. And so that's why you see like that little bit of difference with my future log. I just drew a bottom line. I'll touch bases on it at the end of the video. But yeah, basically I'm just going through my bullet journal and copying over some of those like really important pages from my bullet journal. I would say this is more of like a tedious task than anything because, you know, if you have a lot to transfer, you'll be transferring a lot of things every single time that you start a new bullet journal. But the idea, for me at least, is to not have several bullet journals throughout the year. I would really like to condense it to at least 3 at max, 2 if I'm really being honest. But it's gonna take some time before I can kind of get my niche and get my feel for like, you know, the kind of spreads that I want, the things that I want in it. So right now I'm just in my experimental phase. I'm not new to bullet journaling necessarily, but I am a little rusty in terms of like all the things that I would like in my bullet journal. So yeah, I think once I figure that out, the migration part of it and like just like the setup and stuff, it'll be a whole lot better. But I just try to, you know, keep a simple setup, simple system, because I feel like, you know, that's easier to keep up with, and it's also easier to migrate stuff from one bullet journal to the other when everything is so simple and it's not a whole lot that is to migrate over. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. So today is the last day that I'm filming the setup of my bullet journal, my next bullet journal. So if you watched this video all the way to the end, then you'll know that I think I mentioned it, but if I didn't, I started filming this video on Saturday. I started filming this video on Saturday at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I picked the video back up later in the afternoon. I think the next part that I did was the next morning, so 5 o'clock Sunday morning. And then I kind of just did like little snippets of trying to finish the setup throughout Sunday. And then I didn't do anything yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. Today is Tuesday. So I didn't do anything Monday the 7th. And today is the 8th. So roughly, I want to say 4 days now trying to finish this video. I basically begged my husband to take my son for a little bit, just like go run some errands so that I could get this little part out with the little bit of sunlight that I have. So I'm gonna try to do that in the short frame of time that we have. So this is my current bullet journal. I mentioned that I was going to be finished with this bullet journal pretty soon, and so my camera feels like it is too... Okay, let me pause the video and try to move my camera down some because I don't know what's going on. Okay, I moved my camera down some so that it was easier for me to basically stand over and like show you guys, because I was kind of like leaning forward and it was really hurting my back. So like I said, this is the current bullet journal that I'm using. This is a Leuchtturm. This is the bullet journal collaboration with Leuchtturm. And I absolutely loved this book. This book, if you didn't already see like the beginning of this video, this book has quite a bit of character. All the pages pretty much feel used. There's writing and stuff on here. The edges are like ripped. I know you guys can see that now. The edges are like ripped and dinged and stuff like that. Just flipping through it by itself, it has that real used, like lived in type feel. So that's what I really like. It has been a great bullet journal for the last couple of weeks, month and a half, 2 months that I've used it. And so I'm ready to move on to something else. I'm just ready to get into something else. But I will say that I have been highly, highly, highly considering trying a ring bound system. Not right now because I have what I have going on, but I have been highly considering a ring bound system for next year to like use along with something else for next year, because as you know, we are PCSing again, and so that means that my home life will change yet again, but this time my home life will be a little bit more permanent for the next couple of years instead of all the traveling that we've been doing for the last couple of months within this year. So that means I'll get to incorporate some things that I didn't have this year that I had in recent years. So things that will be coming back into play in my planning life will be like home maintenance, a lot of home-based tasks yet again, meal planning, chores, the whole nine, all of that's coming back. And so although I love my bullet journals and I love like the system that I've curated for myself, I definitely think that I need to start thinking about some of those home life inserts and things like that. You guys know Plum Planner was it for me. It had everything that I needed. So I am in the market shopping around for some pretty affordable but also pretty functional things again. And yeah, so that's what I'm in the market for. But nonetheless, I digress. I wanted to basically say that this bullet journal was coming to its end. Originally, I didn't know if I was going to finish out this bullet journal, but I was like, I had a little bit of pages left. Like, if I had to go, so this is my son's drawing, and then this is, what is this? This is today's stuff. This is what I got left. There's not a whole lot left. This is it. This is all that I have left. Looks like a whole lot, but mind you, today is Tuesday and not Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So there's still like days to be added to this chunk of paper right here. So this is where we are today. I decided to do another weekly, the same weekly that I've been doing, which is my vertical. I actually really like the vertical. I just love the vertical in the A5 size so much. Even though I love a horizontal, but I really like this vertical. This is the layout that I was using in the Plum Planner, so it makes a whole lot of sense that I really enjoy using this layout. And I've also been doing this sort of somewhat how the Plum Planner had the layout, which is, you know, like Plum Planner had, I think, I'm not really sure if it was called, it probably was called Vertical Priorities. Don't quote me on that. It's been like well over a year since I've used their products, but I think it was called Vertical Priorities. And if that was the case, I believe that it was like 3 dots here, then 3 dots here, and so on. So, and then the bottom was like another like little area to write. So I actually like that layout a lot. So that makes sense for this. But yeah, this is what I'm using. Monday and Tuesday share space. We've already started packing. So if you guys are not aware, like if you've been paying attention to all the things that I've been saying in the last, you know, like weeks, we're getting ready to leave again. We were here because, you know, my husband was gone for 6 months for deployment, and then I moved back to Ohio to be with my family. And then, you know, when he came back, we decided that we were going to go with him. So we came to his tech school and we stayed here with him for the duration of, you know, his tech schooling, the start and, you know, the end of it. And then we're all going to be not PCSing. We're all going to be going back to our original duty station just so that we can PCS from there to another place. So we will be going to Maryland. Not Maryland. We'll be going to Baltimore. I don't know. It's hard to say because I keep wanting to say certain things, but I'm like, is it Maryland or is it Baltimore? But we'll be PCSing to Baltimore. I think the base is in Baltimore. So we'll be PCSing there. And yeah, so lots of travel in the next 2 weeks, because we leave next week from here, and then we travel to one side of the state, or one side of the state, and then we travel back across the state. So it's gonna be crazy. So just bear with me as far as like videos go, and like uploading and times and all that stuff, because it's gonna be a little crazy. But this bullet journal has served me really well. I've done a lot of memory keeping in this journal, which has really worked out really well for me, which was just to combine like journaling and planning together. It helped a lot with FOMO, and it helped keep me in the same book, and just to utilize the book for what it was, because I was doing a lot more than just planning in it. And I think that doing this kind of stuff really, really, really worked for me, because if I'm just basically planning in it, I tend to not here. Like, I'll do real life with you guys right now, because I usually don't share this. I might back plan this, and I might not. This is the Kate Spade's spiral planner that I had got earlier this summer. So I didn't like the way I originally set it up. I took out the pocket that was originally here, put in my own pockets, the whole dashboard thingy. And then like, I've been using this, right? So off camera, I have been using it. This was August. I never flipped through this, but I used this planner all of August. I took notes. I was planning things. I was writing notes. I was checking things off pretty consistently. Here's September. I did September. I don't think I finished September. So I was using this. And then this was the end of September. And then I was using my bullet journal a little bit more than I was using this Kate Spades. And then here's October. Haven't touched October whatsoever. Haven't done the first week of October. Haven't even started the second week of October. So this just gives you like a general like basis of like when there are quite a few different things that I'm doing when it comes to like journaling and planning and note taking. It's easier for me to have all of that in the same book. Granted, this is a great planner. I think this is a really nice planner. And I did put a notebook in the back here specifically so that I could do all the little extra notes and stuff. But what I found myself, first of all, I don't know if I really like coils as much as I thought I really did. Secondly, I never felt comfortable with journaling in this per se, and like any of the blank pages. So there was a lot of like stuff that kind of drew me away from this. And so by using my bullet journal, I was definitely able to just identify a lot of things that I really like. And right now I'm really loving having the opportunity to have everything pretty much in the same book, in the same area. So I was watching a bunch of ring bound videos, and it makes sense because I've had my runs with rings, but I'm really considering that for next year. So to keep back into alignment with what this video is really about. So there's some things that I didn't show that I want to talk about. So like I said, I will be continuing to migrate. When I filmed the earlier parts of this video, I showed a little bit of me migrating certain information into this Tiefossi journal. And all I did was basically transfer the contents that are written in the future log and in the calendars. I basically transferred all of that into this bullet journal. Now, when it comes to the outer contents, the things that aren't necessarily written in the book, the outer contents of this book that I will need to transfer in. I have task cards, routine cards. These particular ones will not make, they will not make it into the Tiefossi journal, because these content cards or cards were pretty much made for the lifestyle that we had here, the lifestyle that I had basically developed while we were here. So everything on here will be different from what I will probably be doing once we settle at our new base. So these ones won't necessarily go, but there will be new routine cards. And again, routine cards are changeable. So as your routines change, certain life ventures happen, things like that, these cards will continuously change. Someone once asked me, where did I get the routine cards from? I bought them, and I made them. Basically, what I mean by that is they're just regular index cards. They're literally just regular index cards. And I had some sticky note printables that I had purchased from Etsy. I glued one down, and then I used the other side to like doodle some stuff. And that's what I did. That's how I made them. Simple, didn't cost me too much anything. Simple. The other things that I will be moving into the new bullet journal, which I actually haven't had a use for this book, but I will be bringing it along in the next bullet journal because I know that the book will come in handy, is this field notes grid notebook. So this book I wanted specifically for long-term collection type stuff or permanent collections, permanent notes. Someone once told me in the comments that my planning is in alignment with the commonplace planning or commonplace book. I don't know anything about commonplacing, but if it is in alignment with that, then it makes sense because isn't a commonplace book a book that you generally return to often for like just adding collections of things that you don't necessarily want to lose or forget. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Someone in the comments leave what a commonplace book is. But I definitely like using these little books. I've used them in the past with other planners, not particularly this brand, but I definitely like having a little book to capture some like really long-term or permanent type things. I just haven't had use for it in the last couple of weeks, months that I've had this little book. So it's just kind of been sitting here as a constant reminder that it's here for my use whenever I need it. But I think that with the things that are coming up, it will be very needed in the future. I'm losing sunlight. I'm literally losing sunlight. So I'm trying to speed rush through this while I still have a little bit of light left. So like I said, this is the Tiefossi journal. This one has the 256 pages. You guys saw me kind of somewhat setting this up in the video. I put some stuff that I'm going to be using in this journal in this little pocket that I taped in. Someone's probably going to ask me where I got the pocket from. They're basically Agenda 52 pockets that they're the Agenda 52 pockets that they make for their particular spirals. You can get them from Hobby Lobby. What I do is I take them, cut them down, and round the corners, and then tape them into my books. I just like them a lot better than the adhesive pockets because this pocket is a lot sturdier and looks a lot more like it was meant to be in the book. I did a cheat sheet, and then I went in and I added all the stuff that I basically have in the other bullet journals. So I have a key page, an index, and then my future log, which I went in and I filled out everything that needed to be in the future log. So I did a lot of transferring of, like stuff that is coming up, events, notes, things like that. The bottom section, I decided to make notes because I do have a note section in my future log in this book. So it makes sense to, oops, I bumped you guys. Sorry. It makes sense that, this would need to have a note section. Originally, I did not create a note section for the Tiefossi journal, for the future log in a Tiefossi journal, but realized that after I started filling in things that I also need to transfer those notes because those notes hold pretty important information. I decided that I'm gonna wait to fill this page out. It's a currently loving page. I'm not going to fill it out at the moment because I'm not in the book at the exact moment. So as soon as the Leuchtturm is done, then I'm going to work on this. I did do October's monthly, so although I'm not actively using this book right now, I did put October's monthly in here. This helps because, like I said, I at least need to see what the heck happened last month in case there's something that I need to refer to. So I definitely thought that it was more useful to have last month's activities already in the journal for me, so that way I don't have to worry about having to keep up the Leuchtturm so that I can see what the heck happened. Having the last month is very useful, and then it helps me in the current or the following month. So having first and last month is it just helps. I can't really explain it, but those who know and get it, you know what I mean. So I did do that. And then that's it, really. I just have the months in here, and then when I get ready to use this, I did go through and add this. So this was one thing that I did add in the video, which was just my running task list that is for the month. So I went through and added the things that I needed to add, and I will update this and continuously go through this. So this bullet journal isn't necessarily active, but it will continue to be worked in until my Leuchtturm is done, because I want to keep all the things that I have for all the important things that I have going on in October pretty up to date. So this is an important list because it is relevant to all the packing and moving and just general tasks that we have to do prior to settling at a new base. And then also dates, all the dates that I have, and just seeing visually the travel dates and stuff. That's all important in case I need to go back and reference anything. So yeah, I just basically transferred what was the most important, and yeah, so when I get a chance, I will eventually do a weekly layout. I just decided that I like using the weekly vertical layout. Right now, having a weekly really helps, but if I ever get to a point that I don't want to do that weekly, then the option is there, and that's what I like. I like having the option to add or to not add a weekly. So yeah, that is basically the setup of the new bullet journal. I just went through and added some page flags, and a lot of the content from this bullet journal will move over into the Tiefossi journal. So I might move these page flags over too, because I use them. These page flags serve purposes for helping me get to certain parts of my book. This was a reference note about some of the bullet journal layouts that I was really interested in. This was helping me learn how to do a timeline. I was practicing that timeline here. I was trying to figure out different daily layouts that I can do to better suit some of my areas of daily planning. I was learning how to lay out a morning routines page. So there are some pretty useful notes and things like that in here, so I want to keep up with those. I was doing my son's behavior, and then this I obviously tabbed off because it was something that was active, and we already seen that one, but you guys get the gist. You get the gist that the tabs serve a purpose in helping me get to certain areas of my bullet journal that I don't want to just forget and never reference. So I am going to stop this video here because this video is incredibly long, but I hope that it at least gave you an insight into how I set up my bullet journal, what I find important, and how I transfer all of that stuff that is important to me. It's pretty simple and straightforward. And yeah, I just hope you find the video very useful and helpful. So I appreciate everyone who took the time to watch. I thank you all. I welcome all of my new and returning subscribers. And yeah, I'll catch you guys when I can catch you. You know, I've been trying really hard to be consistent and share as much as I possibly can about my system. To me, I always feel like there's not a lot to share, but there's always something that I can share with you. So yeah, hopefully in the next months or so, we can make some amazing content, because I'll have all of my stuff back and I won't be traveling, and half of my stuff won't be in one state or another. So yes, it is something to look forward to. And I thank all of you for all of the patience that you've given me. So with that being said, I thank you, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, loves.